What is love? What is love to you? What is love to me? Love comes in all forms and means differently to each and every one of us. It's a powerful feeling that can be so fleeting and or everlasting. Love and its meaning is a question that plagues me and probably you as well. On the surface, it seems simple enough, and yet when you look into it, it's complicated. There's no one way to define love, but there is a way to showcase love in all of its forms and all of its glory. One of the many excellent media pieces out there, in my personal opinion, is that of a show called Violet Evergarden. It is an anime that was released in 2018, produced by Kyoto Animation, one of the more prestigious anime studios from Japan, which is situated in the city of Ruji in the Kyoto prefecture of Japan. Violet Evergarden, the anime, is based on the work of Kana Akatsuki. It is a light novel illustrated by Akiko Takase that has the plot of following the titular character, Violet Evergarden's effort to reintegrate into society after the war, now that she is no longer a soldier, and her quest to discover the meaning of the final words Major Gilbert, her mentor and protector, said to her. I love you. As part of her journey of discovering the various meanings of the words I love you, Violet is introduced to Claudia Hudgens, a man who is a former Army Lieutenant Colonel. Claudia is the president of the CH Postal Company. He inducts Violet into the company as an Auotmemories doll. Auotmemories dolls are people who help write for others to convey messages, feelings, and all in specially made letters for those who wish to share with others. Violet then goes on several journeys, meeting with various kinds of people, each and every one of them with a unique message that they wish to convey to loved ones. And as she helps them by writing these letters, she comes closer to finding the meaning of the words I love you in its various forms. One of the many reasons I have come to truly appreciate this story, and the anime in particular, is that it has helped to elevate the story of Akatsuki's with the animation, music, and voice acting. It truly shows how magnificent animation can be in elevating works of fiction. Forever changed how I perceive my life and my relationships, and I hope perhaps you could give it a chance, assuming you haven't been introduced to the wonderful world of Violet Evergarden. Now allow me to go into detail about some of the various examples of what love is and can be. Minor spoilers ahead, of course, so if you wish to come back after watching the series, feel free to do so. What would you do if you watched your sibling go down a downward spiral? They blame themselves for the hardships you and your sibling have faced, as in their mind, they have failed to protect you and your parents, and because of that, your parents have passed on. This is the story of Luculia. Luculia wishes to convey to her older brother, who served in the war, that he is not at fault for what had happened, that she is glad to have him in her life. Violet, after struggling to help convey messages for those around her during her time at the Auotmemories doll school, finally makes a breakthrough after having a one-on-one conversation with Luculia. The message was a short and yet powerful one that got what Luculia wanted to get across in a beautifully succinct way. It simply stated that she was glad her brother was alive. It's the simplest of things that can be so powerful, and I think that is truly beautiful. Love is and can be about the love that siblings share. Love can also be between a parent and a child. a familial bond much like that between siblings and yet so entirely different. Violet Evergarden explores the bond between parent and child through two different lenses that uniquely complement each other. The first example is the relationship between father and daughter. In this particular example, we follow the troubling scenario of a grieving father who has lost their daughter. Violet is called to rendezvous with a famous playwright named Oscar Webster to assist him in writing his next play. However, when she arrives, she finds him to be a drunk recluse. Violet manages to convince Oscar to suspend his drinking while they work, and they begin working on the play. The play is about a girl named Olive who uses her power to summon magical sprites to defeat a beast, but in doing so, she sacrifices her ability and becomes stranded away from her home and father. Violet becomes curious about how the story will end, which Oscar hasn't decided upon yet. Violet then finds a parasol, triggering a angry outburst from Oscar. The outburst was caused by Violet using a parasol that Oscar kept as a memento of his dearly departed daughter. He then admits to Violet that he based Olive off of his daughter Olivia, who had passed on from an illness, and he is writing the play as a way to cope with his grief over her loss. Violet then inspires Oscar with the idea of Olive using her magical parasol to fly home. We cut to an animated sequence that to this day has evoked for me an emotional response that is quite profound and that not many pieces of media could ever attain. No amount of talking about this sequence can do it justice, so let me just show it to you guys.
いいなあ。私もこの湖を渡ってみたい。あの落ち葉の上なら歩けるかな。いつかきっと見せてあげるね、お父さん。
あと何千回だってそう呼ばれたかった。死なないで欲しかったな。生きて大きく育って欲しかったな。
ご覧になられましたか？
With that, Oscar thanks Violet for fulfilling his daughter's wish and for helping him with finishing the script for his new play. Now, in contrast to the storyline presented in episode 7 of the Violet Evergarden series, we jump to episode 10, which is widely considered as one of the more traumatic episodes for many of the viewers, as it leaves them really upset and crying watching everything unfold. This is where Violet is called to do a job for 7-year-old Anne's mother. Violet has been employed by Anne's mother for 7 days to compose letters, but Anne is not informed of the subject matter or the intended recipient. Furthermore, because of her prosthetic arms, Anne wrongly thinks Violet is a real live doll, which makes her both suspicious and captivated. Although Anne grows to accept Violet over the following week, she finds it difficult to accept being away from her mother while the letters are being written. Violet begins to soothe Anne after she loses her temper and persuades her that she is not to blame for her mother's condition. Violet departs after writing the private letters, and the mother of Anne passes away in the end. After that, Anne starts getting the letters Violet wrote at the request of Anne's mother, and she ultimately goes up and starts a family of her own. Violet is moved by the idea of young Anne having to live alone following her mother's premature death, and tells her co-workers back at the post office that the letters would be sent to Anne on her birthdays for the next 50 years. It is in this particular journey that we see how a child grieves for the parent, and how that parent, in preparation for the premature death, ensures that the child can still be given a piece of knowledge and wisdom and care that the parent wished to share with their child. No one wishes to experience loss, but life can be ever so fleeting, and we as humans can never know when our time here on this pale blue dot that we call our planet will end. It was through this series that I began to truly understand what love is and what it can and should be when it comes to the various relationships that we have. It was after watching these select few episodes that I had a newfound appreciation when it came to my family, whether it be my mom and dad or my younger brother. Violet Evergarden puts up a magnifying glass showcasing love in all its forms and in terms of all kinds of relationships, and I couldn't recommend it enough. If you haven't seen this series before, you should most definitely give it a chance. It will make you laugh, make you cry, and make you gleeful watching these characters learn a thing or two about empathy, sympathy, love, and kindness in a world where it acts as an alternate period piece set in what gives me a early 1900s sort of vibe. This series is something everyone can enjoy, and is perhaps something everyone sort of needs in a time where it matters most. No matter what stage in life you are in, no matter what the state of the world is in, the themes and messaging of this anime series that anchors it to be so grounded and real is something that we all can appreciate. Thank you for watching. If you like part 2 and or a deeper dive into the life of Violet Evergarden, be sure to let me know in the comments. And if you liked this little video essay, I would appreciate it if you could like, share, and subscribe for more content. Thank you.